April 20th, 2024. My name is Jarek Walczynski, and I would like to show you my video from my stay in Lingham in Lincolnshire to see the newly opened museum dedicated to several air squadrons in which they fought, among others. Polish pilots in World War II. The photo shows a plaque commemorating all the fallen fighting in these squadrons, which commemorates their service and sacrifice. This is my first time here, but I've seen previous videos of what this place looked like before, and I'm very impressed with what has been done now for the official opening. A great job for those who devoted time and money to commemorate all these heroes. I will try to provide you with a few links to the video so that you can see for yourself what this place looked like before. RAF Lingham in England is one of the most important and historic military aviation sites. The base has existed since World War II and played a key role in defending the skies over Britain during the Battle of Britain. Thanks to its strategic location and advanced technology, RAF Lingham was one of the main launching points for Spitfire and Hurricane fighters, which successfully repelled attacks by the German Luftwaffe Air Force. Here, you can see my car, which is wrapped in the image of the plane of Lieutenant Colonel Jan Zumbach, Donald Duck, or Johann from the 303 Squadron. We are inside. A soldier from that period greets us at the entrance, handing out leaflets about this place. On site you can buy books, souvenirs, and various items commemorating this place. After the war, the base continued to play an important role as a pilot training center and in other aviation operations. Today, it is a place where air shows take place, as well as the headquarters of various aviation units. RAF Lingham is a symbol of the heroism and courage of British pilots who fought for the freedom of their country and all of Europe. This is a place that reminds us of the great history of military aviation and the values defended by pilots serving on this base. Did you know that RAF Lingham in England is one of the oldest and most significant aviation facilities in the world? It was founded in 1916, and since then it has played an important role in the history of aviation. Since its creation, it has served as a base for many famous aviation units, and was also used to test new technologies and aircraft. RAF Lingham was also a key point during World War II, where it served as a base for many combat units and played a vital role in defending England against German air raids. After the war, this base remains active and plays an important role in ongoing air operations. You can see here the history beautifully described on the boards. You can really learn very interesting facts from them. This makes this place unique. All those who created this place put their hearts and all their strength into it. We can only thank them very much for this great work and support them with a donation. It is therefore worth remembering this historic and significant aviation town, which still plays an important role today. RAF Lingham is not only an air base, but also a place that reminds us of the courage and sacrifice of the many pilots who have served and continue to serve in defense of our country. In the museum, you will find lots of photos, lists, and things. Everything from the period of World War II. It is amazing how the authors of this project made every effort to commemorate these moments and this beautiful, but very sad story. RAF Lingham was a Royal Air Force base during World War II. Various squadrons were stationed there during the war, including :1.NO 300 Polish Bomber Squadron 2.NO 305 Polish Bomber Squadron 3.NO 307 Polish Fighter Squadron 4.NO 613 Squadron 5.NO 619 Squadron 6.NO 627 Squadron. These squadrons were part of the RAF forces operating from RAF Lingham during World War II. RAF Lingham was one of many Royal Air Force RAF airfields in the United Kingdom during World War II. This airport was of strategic importance during the war and was a base for many air units. Here is some interesting information about the units stationed at RAF Lingham during World War II. RAF Lingham was used by 300 Polish Squadron RAF, which consisted of Polish pilots. This squadron was one of several Polish Air Force squadrons that fought alongside the RAF during World War II. The airfield was also the base for Handley Page Hampton bombers, which were used to attack enemy targets on the European continent. RAF Lingham played a vital role in defending Britain from attacks by the German Luftwaffe during the Battle of Britain in 1940. The units stationed at the airport took part in numerous air battles. During World War II, RAF Lingham was also used to train pilots and air crew. Many pilots received their initial flight training here before taking part in combat operations. After the end of World War II, RAF Lingham continued to serve as an air base, but its activity gradually decreased. The airport was finally closed in the 1950s. RAF Lingham has a rich history of participation in World War II and was an important location for many air units that played a key role in the defense of Great Britain and contributed to the Allied victory. After the end of the war, it was used for a short time for training and as a place to accommodate demobilized soldiers of the Polish Air Force, but in December 1946, it was closed. Now, after 14 years of efforts by local volunteers and history enthusiasts, a museum has been established in an old farm building, which served as a mess during the war, presenting both the wartime fate of Polish pilots and ground staff, as well as their subsequent struggles to find their place in post-war realities in Great Britain. The entire exhibition is in English and Polish. Entering the RAF Museum in Lingham, we are transported back in time to the 1940s when the airport was fully operational. The museum's exhibitions show the history of 300 Polish Squadron RAF, consisting of Polish pilots who bravely fought alongside the RAF in defense of Great Britain. In one corner of the museum, there are replicas of the Handley Page Hampton planes that took off from RAF Lingham to fight the enemy in the sky. We can feel the fighting spirit and determination of these pilots who risked their lives to defend the country against Luftwaffe attacks. In another corner of the museum, we can see unique exhibits related to pilot training at RAF Lingham. This training was crucial for preparing young pilots to fight in the air and perform precision combat missions. A visit to the RAF Lingham Museum is not only a journey back in time, but also a tribute to those who devoted their lives to freedom and peace. It is a place that cultivates the memory of heroes from the past and inspires us to cultivate the values that guided them. Thanks to RAF Lingham Museum, we can better understand the heritage of military aviation and appreciate the courage and sacrifice of those who served at this airfield during World War II. It is a place that deserves our attention and respect as a symbol of the heroism and determination of people who faced challenges and fought for the freedom of our nations. Marian Yakimowicz was one of the Polish pilots who served in 300 Polish Squadron RAF based at RAF Ingham during World War II. His story is a symbol of the courage, sacrifice, and determination that characterized Polish airmen fighting alongside the RAF in defense of Great Britain. Marian Yakimowicz was an experienced pilot who was involved in combat operations against the German aggressor from the very beginning of the war. He was accepted into 300 Polish Squadron RAF, where he served as a pilot of the Handley Page Hampton combat aircraft. His participation in air battles over Europe was extremely important in defending British skies against Luftwaffe attacks. Marian Yakimowicz showed extraordinary courage and piloting skills, which contributed to the division's successes in repelling enemy attacks. During combat missions, Marian Yakimowicz repeatedly risked his life to defend freedom and democracy against the Nazi threat. His determination and dedication were an inspiration to other members of the squadron and a role model for young pilots. After the end of World War II, Marian Yakimowicz continued his service in aviation, and his story was immortalized as part of the heritage of Polish military aviation. His courage and sacrifice are an indelible testimony to the heroism of Polish pilots who fought for the freedom and independence of our nations. Marian Yakimowicz is a symbol of the spirit of fighting and patriotism that inspired others to serve their homeland and defend values that were worth fighting for. Its story is part of the rich heritage of military aviation and tells a remarkable story of the courage and sacrifice of the men who served at RAF Ingham during World War II. The words, "They would literally do anything for you," in reference to the ground staff at RAF Ingham during World War II, perfectly reflect the commitment and professionalism of the ground staff at this airport. Ground crews, that is technical staff, mechanics, administrative and supply staff, played a key role in the activities of the air units stationed at RAF Ingham. Ground staff were extremely important for the efficient operation of the airport and ensuring the combat readiness of aircraft and pilots. Their work included taking care of the technical condition of aircraft, supplying fuel and ammunition, keeping documentation, and providing logistical support for aviation units. In addition, ground staff also provided moral and emotional support to pilots, helping them cope with the stress and pressure of combat missions. Their commitment and willingness to help meant that the pilots could concentrate on their combat tasks, knowing that they could rely on solid support from the ground crew. The words, "They would literally do anything for you," underline the professionalism, dedication, and determination of the ground staff at RAF Ingham, who not only carried out their duties, but also committed themselves fully to the war effort and served as an irreplaceable link in the Air Force. Thanks to their commitment and sacrifice, the units stationed at RAF Ingham were able to effectively fulfill their combat missions and contribute to the Allied victory in World War II. The ground staff deserve recognition and gratitude for their invaluable contribution to the defense of the country and the freedom of our peoples. We see a mock-up of what it looked like. During World War II, the Women's Auxiliary Air Force, WAF, played a vital role at RAF Lingham and other air bases. Women in the WAF performed a variety of roles, supporting air operations and providing essential logistical support to units stationed at the airfield. At RAF Lingham, women in the WAF could take on a number of different roles, including 1. Administration and bureaucracy. Women in WAF were responsible for maintaining records, running the office, and coordinating administrative activities at the airport. Their work was extremely important for the efficient functioning of aviation units. Here, you have photos showing how this place has changed, how work on this museum was going on, and the wonderful people in the photos who made this place a commemorative place. A fuselage fragment made of cardboard at RAF Lingham Museum and is a unique attraction that delights visitors and is a unique and intriguing part of the exhibition. 2. Radio operators. Women in the WAF could work as radio operators, responsible for radio communications between aircraft and the base. Their communication skills were crucial to the safety and effectiveness of air operations. 3. Meteorological services. Women in the WAF could be trained in meteorology and deal with the analysis of weather data and the preparation of weather forecasts for flights. Their work was extremely important for planning air missions. 4. Supply handling. Women in the WAF were able to work in the supply area, ensuring that fuel, ammunition, and other necessary supplies were delivered to aircraft and air personnel. 5. Medical service. Women in the WAF were able to serve in the medical service, providing health care to air personnel and pilots. The activities of the Women's Auxiliary Air Service were extremely important to RAF Lingham and other air bases as they enabled the effective operation and support of air units. Women in the WAF demonstrated professionalism, dedication, and determination in serving their country and contributed to the RAF's successes during World War II. Their contribution to the defense of the country and the freedom of the nation is extremely important and deserves recognition and respect. There was a lovely lady standing outside, one of the volunteers, offering books in exchange for a symbolic donation. This part of the museum shows the rooms where people lived in those times and what it looked like. You can be sentimentally transported back to those times. I am really impressed when I look at it all, with what details and care this museum has been prepared. You won't find many descriptions and information on the internet. This is information you can get when you come to this museum. Many interesting facts from the lives of these heroes, the history that happened. Aerial view of RAF Lingham Museum. All information contained in this film was obtained by the author of the film from sources generally available on the internet. I would like to thank the people I met in this museum. who allowed me to exhibit my 303 Squadron, and with whom I could talk. Thank you once again, and I think that we will meet again someday, and I would like to invite you who watched my film to the end to see this museum live and support it with modest donations. If you liked this video, please like it, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thank you. Walczącym.